Now the first thing that we'll need is all-purpose cleaning vinegar. I purchased this from Home Depot. We're going to pour this vinegar into an empty bucket, and then we have, in this case, 3 tools that we want to clean. Now what I've done is I've taped off each tool just so we can see a before and an after effect. So we'll place the vinegar in the bucket, place the tools in the bucket, cover the bucket, let it sit overnight, and then we can go on to the next step. And then I'll place a piece of wood right over the bucket, and we'll let this sit overnight. So it's been about 24 hours, and let's take a look at the results here. And you can clearly see that the vinegar is starting to slowly dissolve that old rust and grime off the tools here. So we'll go ahead and remove the tools here from the bucket. We'll rinse off the vinegar using cold water, and then we'll start to clean up the tools using steel wool. We may have to upgrade to sandpaper depending on how bad the surface rust is. But the vinegar does a very good job just to start the process of removing all the old rust, dirt, grime, and so forth. Now the next step will be to remove as much rust as possible off of these tools. Now you can use sandpaper. 100, 120 grit would be something, a good number to start at. In this case I'm using steel wool. Now steel wool has a number of different types of coarseness. They have something called superfine, which is indicated by 4 zeros, and then it goes all the way up to coarse 4, I believe, is the highest. In this case we're using coarse 3. Now if we look on the back here, coarse 3 removes paint, varnish, lacquer, shellac, rust and dirt, clean metal, stove surfaces, and so forth. So that's why I've chosen the steel wool. Let's see what kind of results we see with that. Again, if you don't have steel wool, try 100, 120 grit sandpaper. You should have some pretty good results. And as you can see, the steel wool does a very good job at cleaning up the metal. This is maybe 30-45 seconds worth, and of course I'm going to continue, but it just does a very, very good job of cleaning up this surface rust. Now this socket happens to have a lot more surface rust than this wrench and that extension. So the first part, what I'm going to try is using a Dremel. I'll try some different attachments, and I'll come back shortly and just let you guys know what I found to be the best route regarding the attachments. Another option, if you do not have a Dremel, is, which I may also try in a few moments, is if you have a vise. Place the socket in the vise, get a nice file, and file it down, and then eventually you can primer and paint it right afterwards. But let's go ahead, let me see what kind of results I find here. Regarding the inside, I will clean with the Dremel. That will come out quite well. But the outside, as you can see, just has a lot of damage. So let's see what kind of results we find. Very quickly, if someone is questioning the part number on the sander I'm using here on the Dremel, it happens to come from a Harbor Freight 276 piece accessory set for the Dremels. And this does a very good job for sanding, cutting, polishing, whatever you want to do. If you bought this kind of set from Dremel, it would be a lot more money. And this is pretty good, I have to admit. I bought this some time ago, and I use it pretty often. 276 piece, item 62440. So if you need something like it, look it up on Harbor Freight. So let's go ahead and see the before and after results here. So some pretty good results just by using cleaning vinegar, steel pads, sandpaper, and a little elbow grease. You can even go to the next step, primer and paint these, but I'm just going to clean up the second half, put it in the chest drawer, and call it a day. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.